باب مفتوح للاجتهادات التقريب. هذا حد العالم، هذا طالب، هذا راسخ وإلى آخره.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. To all the RipRightHD 𝗏𝗧𝗜𝗍𝗏 YouTubers and viewers, welcome back to a new video on RipRightHD. Let's get into the proper use of the RipStick. Now I have this on my RipStick program, the first video as an introductory of how to use the RipStick, how to preserve your bands. Guys, understand one thing. These are rubber bands. These are not resistance bands. There's nothing special about these bands. So these bands do pop after excess use. But we're not talking about 1 day. We're not talking about 2 days. Now this particular RipStick we've been using here at the HQ since August. It's been out in the sun. It's been in the rain. It's been in every kind of terrain. Now I'm going to show you the difference between used bands and old bands. Okay guys, and these bands has not popped yet, and they're being in use consistently. As you can even see by the stickers alone, this RipStick is busted and disgusted. These are two new bands. Now before we get into old bands and new bands, the first thing most people do when they get the RipStick is this. There are rarely any exercises with the RipStick that you're going to be having a 90-degree or not a full lockout. Most exercises with the RipStick is full lockout. That's when the exercise starts. So here, your bent arm, this is not a workout. This is not an exercise. The only thing you are doing is stuff like that, like you just seen just happen. Good looking, Mac. So if you keep doing things like that, obviously your band is going to lose its elasticity a lot faster than if you were doing it properly. The only time you're opening it at the chest with bent arms is for the initial pull, and then you're pushing out, then you're holding it there, then you're pulling. This is not a workout. The only bent arm exercise that you will see with the RipStick typically is right here, and it's not even all the way bent. It's close. It's more than a 90. Is when you're doing wrist twists. Okay guys, so let me show you what these bands actually look like up close and personal. I don't know if that's gonna do it justice, guys, but as you can see with these bands, you can kind of see the wear and tear on the bands. Even with the wear and tear on the bands, you can still get a crazy workout, and you're just not going to pop these bands. The only way you're going to really pop these bands is if you're consistently pulling right here at bent arm and just killing the elasticity of the bands. Okay? Or if you're using the slim bands and you're doing the same thing, it's going to go a lot faster because the slim bands are less resistance. The only time you're opening and closing, no freaky, is when you're full locked out, and that's for the exercise called the clips, the front clips. Or if you're over your head, you're doing overhead clips, just like that, or horizontal clips. So guys, 2 reasons your bands are gonna pop quick. If you're constantly just doing this, trying to loosen the bands because they're too tight. If they're too tight, use lesser resistance. Use the slim bands. Another reason that your bands will pop is if you have it constantly in the sun and in these different places where it's constantly getting wet due to the rain and things like that. And then there's a third option if you get some faulty bands, which is possible. We're getting these bands wholesale. So what does that mean? It's a possibility when they're cutting the bands, yours might have an extra cut, and then eventually it will pop faster. But that's not usually the case. So now, as you can see here, on a push-pull with old bands. And we showed you what those bands look like. You can even tell. And now, much more difficult. There is nobody just popping bands. Unless you're a Marvel action hero and we don't know about you. And you decided to purchase a RipStick. Okay, these bands are even tough to get on. Let's check out new bands. You can tell the difference. You can tell the difference. Old bands. Old bands. New bands. There is a difference. Let me put on these old bands so I don't kill myself right now. Right. Doing these demonstrations. Yeah. Because I just finished working out earlier and I don't want to do another workout. Right. And I can't find the other band. Alright, so it looked like I'm going to have to go with the new bands and do a whole new workout. Guys, so I had a band pop on me before? Indubitably, without a doubt, using it, constant use. Never popped when I was doing front clips, but always here, getting a strong pull. Here at the chest, inhale, pull apart, push it all the way out. Woo! Them new bands is different. And let me explain something to you guys. Or when I was selling RipSticks back in April and the bands were coming from another person, which is still the same source, I've done had that band pop before. And it's just due to wear and tear. But never the first day, never the second day. We're talking about months of consistent use. 500, 600 push-pulls a day for months. Most people aren't doing that. So guys, this is not a resistance band. This is a regular rubber band. And in order to preserve your bands, don't do this. Don't leave it in the sun or the rain. And do proper workouts. Stay tuned, stay ripped, six pack, big back, big facts.
Indeed, in the body, literal translation, is a lump of flesh, a piece of meat. إِذَا صَلَحَتْ صَلَحَ الْجَسَدُ كُلُّهُ. And when that lump of flesh